¿Qué mierda es esto?
Hola muchachos, ¿de qué mierda es esto? Si están viendo esto, no sé si es el futuro, porque esto lo grabamos en el pasado, pero a la vez el hecho de editarlo convierte también este momento en el futuro. Y es un gran momento, porque estamos nada más y nada menos con los muchachos de Metronomy. Hi guys, thank you for being here. ¿Querés empezar vos?
Empezamos. So, welcome to Argentina. This is your fourth show in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
If you say so.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to count how many times I've seen you live. I went to every show, and I think this is your fourth show. So you're kind of locals now in Argentina.
Sí.
So tell me,
There you go, there you go. That right there.
we are going to be speaking Spanish in a in a bit. But tell me about playing here, because you've already know the crowd, the spaces. You already know the city. How does it feel to came back here to Argentina?
Well, like you say, we feel like locals now, familiar.
Like it's 5 times. I think it could be 5 times now.
The thing is that you played twice.
When we were here
Like
once.
the last time you were
Very
here.
clever. You do know.
I do know.
You remember it better than we do.
She's been to every single show.
Yeah.
Every single show.
No, the shows, it's always like the energy, I think, is the thing that you remember from playing shows in Argentina. It's like the fans are always kind of crazy from like the second you walk on stage. You know, usually you need to warm a crowd up a little bit, but like not in Argentina, clearly.
Do you like that, or do you like
No, it's
to
awesome.
take it
Yeah.
slowly?
No. Well, speaking personally.
No, I think it's great because that's what you want. You want to feel the excitement back and to get it immediately, you know. Yeah.
I think we all remember the very first time we came here, when we played at.
Niceto.
Okay. Oh yeah, I always say nice to. I remember like we came here, we arrived like late in the day. We were playing at like 2 a.m. or something crazy late, and then we were leaving the next day at like 5 a.m. And it was such a kind of whirlwind that all we remembered was this like crazy gig and a crazy crowd. So I think that's kind of stayed with us.
Well, that's us.
Yeah, it's nice.
And what about the city? I mean, do you have your favorite places to go? Do you know the city? Do you go out when you come here to Argentina?
We've not really had a chance.
That's a shame.
What's the name of the restaurant we went to last night? We went to like an amazing vegan restaurant last night. Like, so good. Do you remember what it was
Sacro,
called?
I think it was called.
Sacro?
Sacro.
Sacro,
Right?
yes.
Really nice place.
Cool.
But I think Palermo, like, I'm starting to feel familiar around there. It's almost like, it's a bit like Camden or something in London, which is fun.
When we were staying, the last time we were here, and we stayed like more in the kind of downtown area, I guess. We had a big walk. Me and Oscar found that there's like a market in the kind of, what's it called? There's like
San
a
Telmo?
yeah, maybe. Like
Maybe.
it's more into town.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really,
San Telmo, actually.
Yeah.
I remember.
so we've walked around a lot. It's a very nice city. Except I remember the first time I came here, I thought I was going to be able to swim on a beach.
Not here. Please don't.
No,
Don't do
yeah.
it in the river. You're gonna get fucked up, and not in a good way. Do you feel like your voice is kind of like okay today? Just go to the river.
Maybe a swim in Argentina is what will help my voice.
Maybe, or maybe
that
absolutely
water.
not. How long have you been here in Argentina this time?
2
days?
days. Yep.
Do you prefer it like that, or would you prefer like just to come, do the show, and then leave?
Oh, no. I mean, like, the ideal thing is to at least have a day free to have a look around, but it's not always kind of feasible to do that kind of financially, whatever. So this is the first time I remember kind of going for walks around the city and stuff. So yeah, it's nice.
How does it feel like I mean, every kids that play the bass or the guitar or sing, they want to travel the world with your music, and you're doing it. How does it feel? You're in the other side of the world. It's fucking crazy.
How's it feel, Oscar?
Well, you do a very good job of explaining.
Fucking crazy, right?
It is incredible, yeah. And although we've already been here a few times, 4 times.
4 times.
You know, it still feels amazing to think of it like that, and it's true.
I think also for us tonight, the gig we have is quite special because it's our last gig of the year. And in fact, the last Metronomy gig of the decade.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I want to talk about the decade because Nights Out just turned 10 years last year. So you've been doing music for quite some time. The internet says that Metronomy is going around since 1999. So we are talking about 20 years of making music. And all of your albums are obviously amazing. But now we have Metronomy Forever. So is that forever meaning anything? I mean, it's like a legacy, like the Metronomy's legacy because you've been playing music for so long.
I think kind of, yeah. It's supposed to be like a bit of a bit of a playful thing about the idea of bands being that important, you know, like that they should have this kind of crazy legacy. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot, watching like lots of quite bad biopic films.
For example,
the Queen one, Elton John one, you know, like they're not bad, but they're just kind of, it's like really, you know, they're paid for by the people who are in them. It's really like weird.
Yes.
But then at the same time, I realized like it's 10 years, you know, like, well, it's 14 years since the first record. It's like a long time. And I think in a way, like dedicating your life to something like that is quite a kind of artistic, like it's quite a statement, you know? So I feel like now it's what I'm going to do forever. Yeah. Completely.
It was the same thought that you had when you started Metronomy?
No, like it's change. You know, it changes, and I think because when you start doing anything, I guess, like it literally anything could be like cleaning the house, could be a jigsaw. Like you imagine you're gonna do
forever.
You imagine you're gonna finish it.
Yeah,
you're gonna do the job. But like still, you can't tell for sure if it's gonna last. So now I guess, you know, you feel your feelings about it change. I mean, I've always wanted. I think all of us have always like dreamt of being musicians, like as a job. And now it is, you know, like it's real. And I guess to get here, you have to sort of navigate the world of like music and stuff. But it's still basically the same, yeah.
And it's maybe like a hard question, but why do you think it worked out? Because of course every time you start something new, you say, okay, I pray this work out, I'm gonna do my best, but then reality is reality. A lot of projects done.
I mean, well, for me personally, I think it's because when I was growing up, I really like kind of studied music, like, and I don't mean literally. I'm not very good at like, you know, kind of proper music, but I just mean like you fall in love with a group and you learn about them and you see what they've done and you want to, you know, if you genuinely want to like make it, then you have to avoid so many kind of potential things that can cock you up, you know, like. So anyway, I mean, I think it's just like really wanting to do it and like loving with like genuine passion, kind of loving the idea of bands and all that stuff.
I think also it's like Metronomy has had as a band the kind of like it was frustrating at the time, but it's like we saw bands that we were kind of doing gigs with who were on the front pages of all the music magazines and were getting kind of their albums are getting 9.5 on Pitchfork and like all this stuff. And it's like they're not around anymore. And it's like it's been a very kind of very gradual, and like the people who are into Metronomy will like come and see us 4 times, or they'll see us at a bunch of you know, it's like, but it's like it's almost been like we've won over fans before kind of winning over like the music press of the industry or something, you know, which is kind of a nice way around for it to be.
And it's like the way it's happening now, right? Like you have one song that is an amazing song and everybody knows your name, but what about tomorrow? Totally. Maybe you have like one good song, one bad song, and you're done.
Yeah.
And if you work hard to like this, how do you like music nowadays? That's a stupid question. Of course you love music nowadays, but
new music.
New music. And
like
I'm talking about more specific about, I don't know, trap or hip hop that here in Argentina has blown up like fucking crazy. in all around the world, I think.
Yeah, no, we
Hip hop, yes,
like
more
the
trap
trappy,
music,
reggaeton.
reggaeton.
Yeah.
Good.
Side of-
What do you like about reggaeton? I mean, do you listen to reggaeton? Because I love reggaeton.
I made someone laugh, I think, by mistake. Like someone was saying to me, an Argentinian interview, they're like, oh, so what do you think about reggaeton? And I was like, oh yeah, like Gasolina Daddy Yankee, like that's it. But that's kind of 10
That's
years
like
old.
classic.
No? Like,
It's old.
it's ridiculous. But that's the only kind of reggaeton I'm really into.
You should listen to more reggaeton. Are you familiar with Argentinian music?
Not really. I mean, this is part of the cool thing about traveling. You're asking about traveling around the world. The most interesting thing is like when someone can tell you about artists there's no way you would have heard of, because like you don't know to search for the name of like an artist who's really big in Argentina. It's like, and someone will say, oh yeah, you need to listen to this person, this person, this person. So educate us, please.
Okay, obviously, we are going to give you some names after the
Okay,
interview is
cool.
over. You should listen to Juan Mango, who is going to open for your
He's supporting
show.
us today.
He's great.
Sick. Okay.
So you're going to like it. 10 years of nights out, a lot of years doing Metronomy, and the music industry has changed a lot. But Metronomy still has the same sort of feel to all of the albums. I mean, all of the albums sound different. Love Letters is more of like a nostalgic record. So how do you choose that sound? How do you create that sound? And what do you think about when you sit down and start composing your songs and your albums?
I think nowadays, like, I like, you know, you're saying like 10 years and 20 years, and like, I think I'm really aware of my age, and I feel like, you know, there's this interesting thing that happens if you're in a kind of young, like when we first came here, we were kind of young, like hype band, and you have to kind of work out how you're going to move from that to being like a kind of slightly older heritage hype band. And I guess that's what that's what I think about really, is because nothing else changes. Like we still tour, we're still like we kind of feel lucky. We all have like quite steady relationships. Like we've got kids now, so like there's nothing drastic happening that's going to make me write anything about anything particularly kind of intense. So I kind of I just think about like where I'm at and how I feel, and I mean I think in a way like at the moment that's sort of adequate enough to like keep, you know, as an influence, I guess. But then it's funny because also you release a record and then you see how people react to it, and it kind of makes you want to react to that. So now I have this idea that I want to do a really like very serious record, like a really kind of emotionally intense record.
Love Letters was quite emotional. I mean, the
yeah,
is
it's true.
so sad and so upbeat. You're like dancing and crying at the same time.
Yeah. I think the next one there'll be no dancing. It's just crying. But I might like that here. No, you have a good history of like sad music here, do you?
Yes.
There you go. It'll be for Argentina.
We are really sad people.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, we are emotional people. Having kids, what about that?
Having kids.
It's a trip. So I also have kids. Like I've got a boy and a girl, and
How are their names?
My son's called Ravi. My daughter's called Maya. They're both very small. They're 4.5 and 1.5. So we're still kind of teaching them to take care of themselves.
Because they are going to play.
They probably will. Ravi's got a taste for it, no?
Will you like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think I would like him. No, but I guess the thing is like, whatever he does, even if he becomes like, I don't know, something horrible, like an investment banker or something, it's like I'd like him to still be able to appreciate music and like play instruments, because I think like people have they have a view of all creative pursuits as like at a certain point you stop doing them because they're not your job. And actually it used to be that like someone would be a plumber, but then they'd be like singing, they'd be like in an amateur dramatic society or something, and it's like you'd still have creative outlets even if it wasn't your like the job you made money from.
It's worth pointing out actually, like a lot of like, you know, we use a lot of kind of synthesizers and stuff like that. Like a lot of the things that I've bought, like a lot of the good synthesizers that I've bought I've bought from people who have decided that they have to give up music.
Yeah.
Like, and it'll be like a guy. It'll be a guy, and he'll go into his bedroom, like, or the spare bedroom, and he'll be like, "Oh, well, here it is." And like, it's like, this is the last thing that you have that's musical, but I'm gonna take it from you.
So kids, a lot of years doing the same thing. Oscar moved to California now. Are you still living in California?
I am, yes.
So how do you do to work with them when you're living in two different countries at the same time?
I fly a lot.
Okay.
You know, every time we need to meet up to work on musical stuff, I'll always go to London. So, you know, maybe next year you should come and see me, guys.
But does it change the creative project to kind of have to fly so much? Do you carry new sounds that you listen in California, and that's why maybe the album sounds a little bit different? It's just the same, and
I wonder if my Californian ways have crept into the music ever so slightly, maybe, but subtly.
Well, I think it's funny because it's like Oscar himself, because he's experiencing living in California, he can't see what's happening to him from the outside.
It's actually kind of, yeah.
But then, like, one day he'll turn up and he'll have blonde hair and he'll talk about a trash can and it'll be like he's changed.
It's true.
So yeah, we all notice the difference.
so
it's not a negative difference, Oscar.
yeah, I think the new album.
Californian difference.
Is that very Californian? Yeah.
The new album sounds amazing. I mean, if that's what
Thank you.
took it to sound it that well, just live in California, keep doing great albums. I want to know if you know any Spanish, and if you don't know any Spanish, maybe we can teach you some Spanish, because you have a show here tonight at Teatro Vorterix, and you're going to be speaking to your fans once again. So it would be nice if you knew some phrases.
Yeah, I was afraid because we've been in Brazil. I was afraid that I was going to come out and, you know,
And talk Portuguese?
well, like, I can't even speak Portuguese, but you know what I mean. What can I say? I tried to ask something. I tried to ask a man. I was maybe going to buy some chairs today. I saw some nice chairs.
Okay.
So I said to the guy, I was like, Kesta.
What?
I think I just said Kesta. Chair. And then he just started speaking in English. So I need to learn how to haggle. I need to know how to say, you're crazy. Drop a zero.
Estás loco, bajale un cero. Estás
Tas
loco.
loco. Tas
Loco.
loco.
So we know.
You're crazy.
Tas
Drop down a
loco.
zero, bajale un cero.
Bajale un zero.
Bajale un cero.
Thank you.
Kind of.
Bajale un cero.
La puta
Ajá.
madre, it's an insult and it's always great.
Oh yeah, that's the
La
same in
puta
every
madre. It's
language.
like, do you really need to know anything else than la puta madre?
Should I just say that when? Should I just
Every
walk
time,
in there?
yeah,
When?
hello, we're Metronomy, la puta madre, and everyone's gonna go fucking crazy. If they don't, I'll talk to them.
Okay.
Chill.
Cool.
If you want to make the audience crazy tonight, we are going to say, hello, we are Metronomy, la puta madre, manga de boludos, estamos ATR, and that's crazy. That's amazing.
That's a lot though. That's
Yeah.
a lot though.
You should write that down.
I wonder what does that mean?
Hello, we are Metronomy. You're cursing them, then you're calling them stupid, and then you're telling them that you're ready to rumble, that you're ready to do everything.
Okay.
We're ready to rumble. I quite like that.
So then there's gonna be a fight after the gig then. Yeah.
No, they are going to go crazy about it.
Okay.
2019 has to end somehow, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah.
that show of the decade, whatever, I end up fighting with 3 kids that actually love the band.
Yeah.
It's like a good story.
A brawl.
Grande pleito. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Big fight.
Big fight. Un gran pleito. Now you live in California, so there's
What
a
are
lot
some
of
of your
Spanish there.
Well,
some of your
yeah.
culinary terms you picked up?
I don't know many of that. I worked in the kitchen in California with a lot of Mexicans, so I learned a few kind of maybe more Mexican kind of Spanish.
Sale, güey.
Donde esta es chingadera?
Chingadera.
That worked quite a lot. Where is this thing?
Yes, pinche is a curse word, but it's okay. You can insult here in Argentina. We do it all the time. We don't say nice things to each other. We just insult each other and we like it.
Hey.
So we are coming to the end of 2019. The 10s are finishing, and now we're going to go into the 20s. So what's the next decade has for Metronomy? I mean, you just have like the English Riviera was one of the top albums of the decade from NME. I love that album. You've played a lot of places. You've done a lot of amazing things. So the next 10 years, what does it have for you in store?
I'm sure we can look forward to the English Riviera 10-year anniversary, the 10-year anniversary tour. We've just been kind of waiting for 2021 to come around, to be honest.
You got an easy one there, like, okay, what are we gonna do in 2021? Okay, the 10-year anniversary.
Sorted. We all know what's going to happen in 2021.
I guess we're going like immediately. We're going to America. We're touring, aren't we? In the 20s, we're gonna go to 2020s America, which is like, what was it like in the 1920s in America? Prohibition, was it that like kind of era? Speakeasy.
Which is what's going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone
Oh, now
with
that you
crazy
think
beards.
of it, it's pretty much the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to find out, really. We'll see what happens. England might fall apart. No, well, Great Britain will fall apart.
Maybe.
But yeah, I decided, because it's winter in America, in South America, sorry. Summer.
It's summer in South America.
Summer in South America, winter in England.
We're very confused.
Anyway, we left England and it was like freezing cold and came here and we've been in like the summer again and in swimming pools and stuff. And I've decided, like, quite often when you're in interviews, people are like, well, so we're like, what's your ambition? Like, what do you have left? And now I realize, like, I want to have a swimming pool
You want to have a swimming
in
pool.
my house.
That's a good
So like now I
resolution
have
for next
a
decade.
goal,
Yeah.
for the next decade.
Next decade. So it's an
It's
easy
incredibly
thing to
selfish.
accomplish. Like, no, but it's an easy thing to accomplish because you have like 10 years to have a pool.
Yeah,
So
and I can start digging the hole. Like, I get home tomorrow, I can start digging the hole.
would you sign for 10 years more of music? 10 fucking years.
No,
No.
not with a record label. I don't think.
No, with life.
Oh yeah, for
itself.
sure. Oh yeah.
It's kind of a lifetime of music. I think, like, for any of us, even if we weren't doing it for like our jobs, we'd all still be making music. 'Cause, like, that's how you get into it in the first place. Even if it's just like, making beats, kind of in your spare room.
Yeah, well, as we were saying earlier, music should be a joy, shouldn't it? Like last Christmas, I remember all the rest of the family were watching TV, and I learnt how to play an old Irish sitcom song on the piano, drinking red wine.
Nice.
I intend to do it again this year.
The same song that you already know? No, this shit is
Can
easy.
I remember
It's
it? Yeah.
pa-pa-da-pa-pam.
Yeah.
Do you think that love, when you get up in one stage, it doesn't matter how big or how small it is, you feel something that you say, okay, if I can chase this my whole life, I'm going to do it. Then reality strikes, of course. But do you think that that's what keeps you going and keeps you like being Metronomy too? Because being in a band, seeing the same faces every day, you have to work it out.
I think like the thing that I realized is it becomes it becomes more and more like unique. Like the longer you keep doing it, like the more special kind of you become in a way. You know what I mean? Like I think like Metronomy up until like 5 years ago was maybe a kind of unremarkable band with like some albums. No, but you know what I mean? And then like after 7 years it's like, okay, and then after 10 years it's like, oh, okay, well like now it's something, and like after 15 years I think it will be interesting too, like, so I kind of figure like, yeah, just especially if it gives you pleasure, then yeah, never stop. And well, actually no, that's not good advice, is it? Certain things you should not do for the sake of pleasure, but you can work them out.
You're talking about reggae.
I was talking, yeah.
Don't do the reggae.
Don't do reggae album.
Yeah.
Please don't.
When I do that,
Please don't do a reggae album. It's the only genre that I cannot listen to, and I really like Metronomy.
can I do
so
a
please.
reggae Tom.
album.
That would be amazing. You should.
Because I hear it's big business these days, and I want a pool.
It's big. We are going to teach you some Spanish. We are going to write a reggaeton song now when we leave this interview, so you can get really, really big for real and just have 2 swimming pools,
That's
not only
perfect.
not only one.
One
So
needs to add to the other.
Oh, amazing.
That's
Decadent.
2 temperatures. So.
Interconnected,
Oh, this
so
one is
it
cold.
was-
Oh, this one is hot. Oh, I like it.
thank you so much for being here with us today. We are
Thank
going
you.
to really enjoy the show tonight. And Metronomy is here for good because the album is called Metronomy Forever. And you already said that you're in this thing, in this music thing for life. So I am looking forward for the next 10 years of your career. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. And we are going to see you live tonight. And then we are going to see this interview tomorrow. Porque, y ahora vuelvo al español, amigos, esto lo hicimos un domingo. Esto lo hicimos
What
un
happened?
domingo.
She has a switch.
I have a switch and many faces. Esto lo grabamos el domingo, hoy es lunes porque en Qué Mierda Es Esto tenemos una máquina del tiempo y con nosotros estuvo Metronomy.
¿Qué mierda es esto?